Hi, this is Congressman Courtney. I'm speaking to you from my office in the Rayburn Building at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. It's Thursday, January 10th, and we are now, unfortunately, in the midst of day 20 of this outrageous government shutdown over an issue which has absolutely nothing to do with spending bills that were passed by overwhelming bipartisan majorities last year. This week, we have actually continued to vote to reopen government with a passage last evening of a bill to fully fund the financial services and general government account. That measure, again, affects agencies like the IRS, Treasury, a whole host of SEC regulators that actually make the U.S. economy go. Included in that provision was also a requirement that all retroactive pay, both to furloughed and non-furloughed employees, would be included, as well as canceling President Trump's pay freeze, which he instituted on December 28th across the board for all non-DoD employees. Today we will vote to reopen the Department of Agriculture, as well as the Transportation, Housing, Urban Development agencies. And tomorrow we will vote to reopen Interior and the environmental programs, EPA, et cetera. Again, the reason why those votes were organized was because in each instance, they were passed in the US Senate by a vote total of 92-6, which obviously means that they were overwhelming bipartisan measures, and also included the pay raise, which I mentioned before, which unfortunately the president canceled on December 28th. Those votes are on top of last week's votes, where we again went across the board for all agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security, to get them open and operating and getting paychecks in people's hands. Again, we are now in this outrageous situation right now where essential employees are working like TSA and air traffic controllers, Coast Guard, et cetera, without really a clear picture that they will be paid. Again, those votes which we took last week and the votes that we're taking this week would totally clarify, in fact, that there, again, will be no delay in terms of people getting their pay once the government reopens. In addition to that, we also have some other measures which have been individual bills that have been introduced. The Federal Employee Retroactive Pay Fairness Act, which again, just by itself would clarify that there would be retroactive pay for anyone who's been, again, disadvantaged by this shutdown in terms of getting their bills paid. Again, I wanted to give you this update just to, again, clarify that the Congress is using every avenue within its constitutional powers to stop this ridiculous shutdown, which again is having a ripple effect far beyond just federal employees. And we're getting calls from people, again, who are hoping to go forward on real estate closings and they need FHA sign-off. We've had small businesses, particularly contractors, who, again, are really in a gray zone here in terms of just how this shutdown is going to affect their invoices getting paid in a timely fashion. And whatever disputes exist regarding the southern border, a wall, no wall, the fact of the matter is that these folks should not be caught in the middle of that dispute. We should get the government reopened and again resume that legitimate question about ways to increase border security, including making sure that the type of equipment at ports of entry where illegal drugs are definitely coming in at an unacceptable rate. Again, having sensors that can detect in cars and trucks weapons and illegal substances. That technology exists. We're using it, but in fact, we could beef that up and strengthen it. No dispute over that point. We could boost the ranks of the immigration court so that asylum claims, which again are about 800,000 backlog, can start moving through the process. Boosting the immigration system is a way of making sure that we keep true to our values and also strengthen the efforts of the folks that work at the Department of Homeland Security. Boosting some key other positions, more boots on the ground, sensors, cameras, all the technology which really I think works out there, again, there is no dispute. Border security should be a legitimate question that we can enhance and strengthen, but we should not do it in the context of making 800,000 Americans go without paychecks, as well as the ripple effect that it's having on the economy at large. I want to end by just simply saying we have had a very healthy dialogue with folks all across Eastern Connecticut who've been emailing the office, calling the office. We encourage you to continue to stay in touch. We can give you updates regarding what's going on in the halls of the Congress, as well as any other late-breaking developments. Again, that, I think, external pressure and that external noise is something that I have used on the floor of the House of Representatives. We welcome it, and again, if you have questions, please call the office. And we will continue to give you these updates as events unfold. Thank you very much.